It is a group of statements which are used to perform a specific task. It is used to perform some task. Whatever the task was assigned for that particular function, it will work. For example, if you call, for example, let us take like this. One of the function is print. Print is the function. Now, what is the use? What is the print function will do? Print function will print whatever you have written inside that. Just it is going to check whether the given data is a numerical data type or whether it is a string data type. String data type means it should have with respect to inverted commas. If it is a numerical data type means no need of inverted commas. If the person has written within this print function, if the person has written something number like 99, so what it is going to do, it is going to check, okay, it is whether it is a numerical data or not. It is going to take the 99 as the input. 99 is input. It is going to check whether 99 is a numeric. It is going to check whether 99 is a numeric or whether 99 is a string type. So since 99 is a numerical data type, for this no need of any inverted commas. Not required inverted commas. For this, not required the inverted commas. So what it is going to do, it is going to print the 99. This function was created such a way that it has to print whatever the input was given. So here print 99 means the output it is going to print as 99. Now if you write within the print like 99, 999, 49, something you have written like this. Okay, now 3 values you have written. Now what it is going to do, it is going to take these 3 values as the 3 values, whatever the 3 values you have given, these 3 values it is going to consider as the input, and it is going to perform the task. What task? For the print function, what is it has to do means it has to print the values, whatever the was given inside that, it has to print the values. Now it is going to print 99 space 999 space 49. So here this function will take the input as the values, and based on that it is going to perform the task, right? So the same thing, function is a group of related statements that perform a specific task. It will take the inputs, it will take the some kind of inputs and it will perform some kind of task, right? Now it avoids the repetition and makes the code reusable. What is the use of this particular function means it avoids the repetition. So whenever there is a repetition is required, then in that case we are going to use the functions. For example, something you want to repeat, the same code you want to repeat for multiple times, then instead of repeating the code we are going to use as a function, right? Now if we use the functions by others in a form of library, it is called as library functions. For example, within the library, if you are using any kind of function means they are called as library functions. Now within the functions we are having 2 types of functions. One is called as inbuilt and one is called as user defined. So functions are of 2 types. One is called as inbuilt functions, second one is called as user defined functions. Now what is meant by inbuilt functions? Inbuilt functions means by default it will be integrated within the Python. So by default, inbuilt means by default it's integrated with Python. By default it is integrated with Python. What is meant by integrated with Python? What is the meaning of this one means? For example, if you are using or if I am using, it is common, it is no difference because they are inbuilt. Inbuilt means they are integrated with the Python. Python, if they have integrated means you can use, I can use, anyone can use that functions. Whoever are using for Python, they can use. Whereas user defined functions means only the user who created the functions can use, right? So this is user created functions means I am creating the functions as per my requirement. I am creating the functions, that is called as user defined functions. One is inbuilt and one is user defined. Now inbuilt function means it is already inbuilt within the Python. It is integrated within the Python. Example, print function. Print function I have not created. It is already there. It is already available within the Python. ID function, it is already available within the function within the Python. Like input function. This is already available within the Python. So these functions are already integrated inside the Python, right? Print function, type function, length function. Okay, length function, type function, all these functions, whatever the functions we have used it till now, everything are integrated. Already they are in the inside the Python only. So if you are using length function means it will work. If I am using the length function also, it will work. For example, I am creating a new function called as def add a comma b, c is equal to a plus b, return c. Okay, something function. Okay, forget about this one. What is the syntax and what is this? Don't ask that question. Now the function name is called as add. Add is the function name. Now, if I ask add 3 comma 4, if I ask add 3 comma 4, it is going to work and it will display the 7. Now, if without using this above one, if you ask add 3 comma 4 in your system, if you type add 3 comma 4 without writing this one, then it is going to throw the error called as name error. Name error. What is this add? First tell me what is this add, because it don't know that add. In my case, I have created this function and I'm using that function. If you are writing like this directly in your system, add 3 comma 4 without writing this one, then it is going to throw the error because it was created by me. This function was created by me. Add function was created by me. So this is called as user defined function, user created function. They are called as user defined functions. Now user defined functions, what are the user defined functions? Now once you are having the function with you, then only you can use. Otherwise you can't use. Is that clear? So here example of inbuilt functions, like if you take id, like a is equal to 10, and if you are asking id of a, it will work for you, it will work for me. Okay, id function will work for you and it will work for me. If you are taking instead of id, here you are writing print function, print a, it will work for you, it will work for me. But instead of that, it is not working in your system, it is only working in my system, means that functions are called as user defined functions, because I have defined the function and I have kept in my Jupyter notebook, right? Now let us take one more example, abs. Abs is the function which returns the absolute value. Okay, abs, it returns the absolute value. Abs of minus 10, if I ask abs of minus 10, absolute value means nothing but mod. So mod of minus 10, what is the answer of mod of minus 10? Means plus 10. If you are taking plus 10, this one also plus 10 only. So abs of minus 10 gives you the 10 as the answer, right? Abs means nothing but it returns the absolute value. If you give the positive value also, it will give the same answer. Okay, if you give the negative value means it will convert that negative value to the positive value. Now how it is going to work? How it is working means in the backend, there is some code was written. For ABS, some code was written. What is the code was written means here ABS of the person is going to give some input I, some value he is going to give. If this I value is less than 0, if it is less than 0, convert this I to I is equal to minus of I. I will be minus of I. Else automatically I only, print I. Okay, so I will be converted of minus I and it is going to print the I value. Else it is going to print normal I value. This is the backend code of that one. Now if I am writing ABS of minus 10, since minus 10 is less than 0, now since if is working, else will not work, only if will work. Now within the if minus 10 is less than 0, since the condition is true, now what happens? I is equal to minus of I. What is I? Minus 10. Minus of minus 10 is plus 10. Now I will become to plus 10 and print time is 10 will be printed. In that way it is printing. For example, if I am asking ABS of plus 10, if I give plus 10, since it will not work, directly it will work and it will give the output as 10. So the backend code of ABS is, this is the backend code. Okay, this is the backend. Okay, backend means this particular, this is called as task. Whatever the code was there in the backend, this is called as task. So ABS function was designed in such a way to perform disk task. What task? This code task. It has to perform the code task. Got the point now? So every function was created using the if and else or for loops or something, right? So here, if you see this one, it is in the back end, it is working with respect to some lines of code, right? So functions is a group of related statements that performs a task. So if you observe this example, ABS is a function name. It performs the given task. It performs a group of related statements. Group of related statements means inside that whatever the statements are there. A function is a set of statements that takes the input. So as input you have to give. If you don't give the input, for example, if you're asking just ABS, you are asking ABS without any input. The same function, ABS function, without writing any kind of input. Now it is going to throw the error that at least it has to take one exactly argument. One argument means one input. Argument means input parameter, right? So it has to take the input and do the some specific task, and it has to produce the output. Is that clear? Now let us see this one, and let us create the multiple functions. We'll create the multiple functions. Now user defined functions. What is meant by user defined functions? User defined functions means user is going to define the function as per his requirement. As per his requirement, he is going to create the function. For example, yesterday we have seen the sum of n natural numbers. Sum of n natural numbers. I ask you to write a program for sum of n natural numbers using the for loop. Using for loop. Assume this is the one. Here, write a program. Write a program for sum of n natural numbers using the for loop. This is the question was given. Now what you are going to take? Sum is equal to 0. Sum is equal to sum plus I. This is common, right? Now for I in range of 1 to n plus 1, it is going to do the sum is equal to sum plus I and print sum. This is the program, right? So if you take the I is equal to 5, automatically it will do the 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Now this is the program for the writing the sum of n natural numbers using the for loop. Now the same question, instead of writing a program, I ask you to write a function. Write a function for sum of n natural numbers. I ask you to write a function using the for loop. Same, using the for loop. In the above case, I ask you to write a program. In the below case, I'm asking to write a function. The entire question is same. If you observe the question, this question and this question is as it is. No difference in the question except the word here, the program, here the function. Above case, I ask you to write a program. In below case, I'm asking you to write the function. Now, what you are going to do, this entire program, whatever the entire program you are having, this program you are going to create as a function. Now, let us see that example, same example. Okay, sum is equal to, initially the sum is equal to 0. Okay, the sum value I'm going to consider initial sum value as 0. And for I in range of 1 to n plus 1 colon, sum is equal to sum plus I. And you are going to print the sum value. Right? Now you are going to ask the n value. You have to ask n value. N is nothing but int of input of. Ask the user to enter the value for n natural numbers. Right? Now this is the program, and I have written the 5 means it is going to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is nothing but 15 is the answer. So I'm going to get the sum. The sum of the sum. Okay. And if I enter the 5, the sum is 15. I'm going to get the answer as 15. Okay. Now this is what is this one is called as a program. This is called as a program. If I am entering 5 now, shit. This is called as a program. Write a program. Write a program for sum of n natural numbers. Write a program for adding the sum of natural numbers. Okay. Now this is called as a program. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create now function. The same thing I'm asking as a function. Okay. Write a program. Write a function for sum of n natural numbers. Function. Write a function. Now this time function. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, function as it is, the code as it is, no difference. Copy, paste. As it is, I'm going to do. No difference. Copy, paste. Now n is the input. Take the input from the user. You have to ask the user. This is common in this case, or in this case it is common. Now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to create the function def sum of n natural numbers. So for this I'm going to create a function called as p1. Function name is called as p1, and where it is going to take the input as n, and I'll keep the colon. And down, just I'm going to do now. First the user is going to enter the 5 and the sum, whatever the sum is, and p1 of n. Right. This is called as function. In the above case, this is called as program, and below case it is called as function. What you have done extra, you have written one line of code of this one, this one. These are the 2 lines you have written, right? Only 2 lines you have written extra. Remaining everything is copy paste only, right? This is the 1 line and this is the 1 line I have written extra. Now what is meant by this line and what is meant by this line? If you understand these 2, automatically functions are done. Now first one is called as, this line is called as defining a function. Defining a function. Defining or creating a function. How you are going to create a function. This is called as calling a function. This is called as calling a function. One is called as defining a function and one is called as calling a function. Now heading is user defined functions. User defined functions. In the user defined functions, the user defines the function. User defines the function. What is the meaning of user defining the function? Means user creates the function based on the requirements. He's going to create the function based on the requirements. Now next, how to create. Okay, create means okay, how to create or define a function. How to create or define the function means syntax. What is the syntax? Syntax is nothing but you have to write the DEF, def, small letters DEF. Def means define, meaning is define. You are going to define. Define means nothing but create only. Define or create. Def, and you have to write the function name. You have to write the function name, whatever the name you are interested. The function name should be of same syntax, whatever we have used for the variable name. Whatever the rules of variable name is applicable, function name is also having the same rules. Okay, so it can't start with a numerical value. Function name also cannot start with the numerical value. Function name is also case sensitive. Function name also with respect to starts alphanumerical. First letter should be alphabet followed by numeric. And if you want to use any kind of special character means only underscore is accepted. The same rules, whatever we are having for the defining the variable name, the same rules will be there. Okay. Def function name, and you have to take the bracket. You have to take the bracket colon. Take the bracket and keep the colon. Inside that, you write whatever you want. The program, write the program. And once the program is completed, this is called as defining a function. Now, here what it is going to do, it is going to take the arguments. So here, whatever the inputs you are going to share, the inputs will be the arguments. So input 1, input 2, these are called as argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, like this, so on, argument 4, etc. up to argument n. You can take the multiple arguments. How many number of arguments should be there? Arguments can be 0 to infinite, starting from 0. No, with you can create a function with 0 argument. You can create a function with infinite arguments. Okay, so arguments can be of 1 to infinite. There is no limit, right? Now, how to create a function means def function name, and you have to write the arguments within that, and you have to write the code, whatever the code you want. And finally, once the function was created, now how to use this function? Okay, creation is completed. Create and work is completed. Our heading is how to create a function. So we have created the function. Now how to work with the function? How to use the function? How to use the function? Whichever you have created, how to use the function means very simple. That is nothing but calling the function. You have to call the function. How to use the function means you have to call the function. What is meant by function call means just you have to use the function name. Function name, whatever the function name you have used, and arguments. That's it. Okay. Example. Once it is done, I will write the example. Okay. Let us see the example. Immediately example. Example number 1. A simple example. First, I am going to create def, D-E-F, common. Everyone who wants to create a function, they have to use the word called as def. And I'm going to create a function name is called as add. Add is the function. My function name is called as add, where it is going to take 2 input arguments, A, comma, B. It will take 2 input arguments, A, comma, B. Now here C is equal to A plus B, and print the C value. Print the C value. This is the function created. Now this function is created where the function is having the function name. What is the function name? Add is the function name. This is the first point. How many arguments are there for this function? 2 arguments. Arguments are 2. Number of arguments are equal to 2. What are the argument names? Argument names are A, comma, B. For every function, you have to remember 3 things. One is function name. Second one is how many number of arguments for that function was created. And the third one is what are the argument names. Now this is called as creating a function. Function was created. Close. Now you have to use the function. Now I'm calling the function. How to call means function name. What is the function name? Add. Add of arguments. How many arguments you have to pass while calling the function means number of arguments while creating the function. How many arguments you have used it for creating? 2. While calling also you have to call with 2. Okay. So what I'm going to do, 1, comma, 2. I'm writing add of 1, comma, 2. Now what happens automatically here? A, comma, B is equal to 1, comma, 2. It is going to do the multiple variable assignment. A, comma, B will be equal to 1, comma, 2. Sir, for example, if you have written A add of 1, comma, 2, comma, 3, you have given 3 arguments. Now in this case, what happens? A comma B is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Is that possible? A comma B is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3? No, it is going to throw the error. So it is going to throw the error. What is the error, miss? This add function was created with 2 arguments. You are giving 3 arguments. That is the error. Now add of only 1. You are writing only 1. Inside that only 1 argument you are writing. That is nothing but A comma B is equal to 1. Again, it is not possible. Again, it is going to throw the error. Add function was created for 2 arguments. Don't give 1 argument. Minimum 2 arguments are required. Not minimum. Exactly 2 arguments are required. Exactly 2 arguments are required. Whenever you give the 2 arguments only, it will work. How it is going to work? Add 1 comma 2. This is called as calling the function. Add of 1 comma 2. Now, this add 1 comma 2 means A comma B will be equal to 1 comma 2. A comma B will be equal to 1 comma 2 and C is equal to A plus B. Now what is A and B values? 1 comma 2. C is equal to 1 comma 2. What is 1 comma 1 plus 2? 3. So C is equal to 3 and print C. So what is the output of this function, miss? It is going to print the 3. Right? So let us see this. Def add is the function name A comma B. I am creating A comma B with 2 arguments. I can write anything as my choice. A comma B, I comma J, C comma K, whatever you want, you write. Right? And C is equal to A plus B, A plus B, and print C. I am printing the C value. So this is called as defining a function. Out of which here, defining a function, this is the function name and this is the code. This is called as function and this is the code. Whenever I call the function, these 2 lines of code will be executed. Whenever I call the add function, automatically these 2 lines will be executed because 2 lines was created. The function was created with 2 lines. So it will execute the 2 lines. Now, once I created the function, now I'm calling the function. While calling the function, add of 1 comma 2. Add of 1 comma 2. What is add of 1 comma 2? Miss, add is the function. Yes, add function is available. 1 comma 2. Miss, here 2 arguments. 1 comma 2. A comma B will be considered as 1 comma 2 and it will execute these 2 lines of code. C is equal to A plus B. C is equal to A plus B. What is A plus B? 1 plus 2, 3. Print C. So it is going to if print C. That is 3, it will be printed. Just it will execute the 2 lines of code, whatever is inside the function. Now, for example, here you are writing 1 comma 2 comma 3. Now it is going to throw the error that add function will take only 2 positional arguments, but you have given the 3. 3 you have given. 3 is not possible. Now, what is meant by this positional arguments? That we'll see one by one. Okay. Now it is going to throw the error that 2 arguments only. The function can take only 2 arguments, but you have given the 3 arguments, which is not possible. If you give only 1 argument, and then also it is going to throw the argument. One argument is missing. 1 argument is missing. So exactly 2 arguments is there only, it will work. Means number of arguments while creating the function, it should be equal to the number of arguments while calling the function. Then only the function will work. Okay. So this is called as defining a function. This is called as defining a function. This is called as defining a function and this is called as calling a function. This part is called as calling a function. This is called as calling a function. Right? Now, whenever you call a function, so in the notes you write, whenever you call a function, it will work only when number of arguments while creating the function is equal to number of arguments while calling the function. Is equal to number of arguments while calling the function. If both are same only, it will work. When creating the number of arguments while creating the function and number of arguments while calling the function, if both are same only it will work. Otherwise, it will not work. The function will not work. If you have created the function with one argument, means you have to call with one argument. You have created with the function with 5 arguments, means you have to call the function also with 5 arguments. If you have created the function with 10 arguments, means you have to call the function also with 10 arguments. If you have created the function with no argument, means while creating the function with no argument, you have to call the function also with no argument. So functions you can create with the arguments, without arguments also. That is the reason earlier I have told you that how many number of arguments you can have, means from 0 to infinite. A function with no argument also possible. Is that clear? Now, so here defining a function, I'm going to define a function called as add a comma b, c is equal to a plus b, print c. Print c means it is going to print. Now while calling the function, two arguments I'm giving. So while creating this one and while calling both are same, so it is going to work. Otherwise it will not work. Now defining the function is for one time, but you can call the function for multiple times. Create the function for one time. With one time the creation is completed. While calling the function, you can call for multiple times, infinite number of times you can call the function. But creating is only one time. You are going to create the function for one time. Right? Is that clear? Now you are going to call the function. Now what happens when you are calling the function? Just it is going to take these two arguments. What are the arguments you have shared? The arguments will be equal to the a comma b. From where we are getting sound? Any work? Huh? Right? Now let us see one more example. Now here sum def for sum underscore 4. Def underscore sum underscore 4. What is the function name here in this case? Sum underscore 4. Is that possible? Sum underscore 4. Can I keep that one? Is that possible? Yes. So this is okay. A comma b comma c comma d means how many arguments it is going to take? 4 arguments. And it is going to a function, whatever the function you are having, a function, while defining the function, def function name, some function name, and inside that function name you are going to take the arguments, either 0 to infinite number of arguments, and you are going to write the code. And inside that function, either you can use the print, this is the print, or second option is called as a return. Second option is called as a return. Two options we are having. Now let us see the difference. Def add add a comma b. Okay, earlier example, same example, a plus b, c is equal to a plus b, print c. Right? Now same thing, and now I'm asking the function, I'm calling the function as 2 comma 3. Now what is the output of this one? C is equal to a plus b, that is 2 plus 3, print c. C will be printed. C value is 5, so 5 will be printed. This is the output. Now def add a comma b. Okay, a comma b, colon, c is equal to a plus b. Same. Second line also I'm writing same. Instead of print, this time I'm writing return. Return means return the value, give the value, give as the value as the output. The same value will be printed as it is. Now in this case, if you add 2 comma 3. Now if you ask, now also the answer will be the 5. In this case the answer will be the same. In one case it is printing, in one case it is returning. Now what is the use of this one and what is the use of this one? Now whenever you are having the return, you can save this one. Whatever the output of 5 is there, that one also you can save as one of the variable and you can use for the other function. This function output you can use for the other function input. Whereas this one you can't use because it is printing. You can't use as the input for the other function. That is the difference. That is the reason every function will have the return. Return means whatever it has to give the output. Instead of writing the print, wherever the print you have to write, instead of writing print, write this return. That's it. Is that clear? Now let us see this. So here I'm going to write def sum underscore 4 a comma b comma c comma d. Return a plus b plus c plus d. It has to return that value, and this is the function was created. Now I'm calling the function with sum underscore 4 is the function name 3489. What happens here? The number of arguments are 4, and while creating the function also number of arguments are 4. Since it is satisfying the condition, now what happens? A comma b comma c comma d is equal to 3489. Now a value is equal to 3, b value 4, c value 8, d value 9. Now if you ask what it has to do, return a plus b plus c plus d. What it is going to return now? 3 plus 4, that is 7, 7 plus 8, 15, 15 plus 9, 24. It is going to return the 24. Now, sir, okay, sir, you have written like that. Now, instead of this one, if you write a new variable called as e, e is equal to a plus b plus c plus d, and return the c. If you write like this, same. One more line, it will do it, and it will create a new object also, C object. E object also will be created. A, B, C, D will be created. At the same time, E also will be created. Okay. And return the E means it is going to return the E value. Either you can write like this, or you can write in the above case, or you can write even the print also. Print E. Print E means it will also print the E value. Right? Now, so now sum underscore 4. Sum underscore 4 is 13 comma 24 comma 8 comma 9. So what it is going to do? A, B, C, D. Now what is the latest A value, B value, C value, D value is 13, 24, 8, 9. So it is going to create with 13 with A, 24 with B, 8 with the C, D with 9. So it is going to create the 4 objects. Now automatically it is going to execute this function. Inside this function, E is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. What is C value now? What is C value? That is 13 plus 24, which is nothing but 37. 37 plus 8, 45. 45 plus 9, 54. It is going to have 54, and it will create a new object called as 54 with E. And what you have written? Return E. Return E means it is going to return the 54. This is the output of this. Is that clear? Now, just now let us see this. Now we want to create a write a program for printing the values between 1 to 100, which are divisible by 5 and 7. I want the program for the numbers between 1 to 100. Okay, 1 to 100. 1 to 100 means what I am going to do? For I in range of 1 to 100. 1 to 100. Now, print I. Print I means it will print all the numbers, but I don't want all the numbers. I want the numbers which will satisfy the condition, which are divisible by 5 and at the same time divisible by 7. Both. It should be divisible by 5. It should be divisible by 7. Now, what I'm going to write? For divisible by 5, first I is modulus 5 is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0 means then only it is divisible by 5. Whenever the remainder is 0, then only it is divisible by 5. When you are dividing with 5 and remainder is 0, then the number is divisible by 5. And also the number should be divisible by 7. The two conditions should be satisfied. Whichever the number satisfies both the conditions, that particular number I want to print. That is the program. So first it is going to take 1. 1 will not satisfy, so 1 will not be printed. 2 will not satisfy, 2 will not be printed. 3 will not satisfy. 4 will not satisfy. 5 will satisfy this condition, but it will not satisfy this condition since it is false only. True and false. True and false output is false only. False is my miss. If condition will not work. Next 6, 7. Now 7 it will work this one, but this one will not be work. Now what happens? Again that 7 also will not be printed. 8, 9, 10. Like this it is going to continue. 35. Since 35 is divisible by 5, true, condition is true for 35. And also 35 is divisible by 7. This one also true. Since both of them are true, true and true, overall true means print I. Print I means 35 will be printed. So like that, whichever the numbers are divisible by both 5 and 7, that numbers will be printed. What are the numbers will be printed means 35 and 70. These are the two numbers. Okay, remaining numbers will not be printed because they are not divisible. If they are divisible by 5, some numbers like 50 is there. 50 is divisible by 5, but it is not divisible by 7. 45 is there, divisible by 5, but it is not divisible by 7. If you go with 55, it is divisible by 5. It is not divisible by 7. If you go with 63, it is divisible by 7, but it is not divisible by 5. So it satisfies both the conditions is 35 and 70, right? This is the program wise. Now the same program I want as a function wise. Now what I'm going to do, just observe this one. Def num57. Function name is 57. Num57 I have created. So why you have created num57? I'm interested. Okay. Whatever the variable, whatever the name you want, you write. There is no rule that you have to use this one only. You select as per your choice. Num underscore, you are not interested. Num underscore 5 underscore 7. Whatever the function name you are interested, write that one. Okay. Or SRK 57. Whatever the name. Now what it is going to do, it is going to take the numbers, the same above one as it is. I'm going to copy the above code. Whatever the above code is there, I will copy and I will paste here. Copy paste only I have done. Nothing special I have done. A copy paste. Okay. So this indentation is for the def function. For the def function, this is the indentation. This indentation is for the for, and this indentation is for the if. Right? Now I have created the function with num underscore 5 underscore 7 function. So above code as it is, I have copied. No difference. Just copy paste only I have done. Right? Is there any difference? For this particular Python program, I have written the function name. Now, once this function was created, these 4 lines are called as creating the function. And now while calling the function, now once I create the function, I'm calling the same function which was created, the same function I'm calling. Now, when I'm calling the function, when this line is getting executed, now here, how many arguments are taken for this function to create? 0. While calling also, I'm calling with no argument. So it will call, it will work these 3 lines of code. What is there inside the 3 lines of code? Whatever the 3 lines of code output is there, the same 3 lines of code it is going to print. Above and below, same to same. Now, let us take one more example. In the last class, in the yesterday's class, we have worked on the while loops or for loops or whatever it is. Let us open one of the example, whatever we have worked in the last class. Okay. So in the last class, whatever the examples we have done. Or otherwise, we can take with respect to conditional statements. Whatever the example you have done, you can convert every example to a function, right? So if you take this one of the example here, what is this example is? Take a value of y and print grade A if it is greater than 90, grade B if it is greater than 70, and if it is less than 70, grade F. This is the program, right? So as it is a program, copy, I'm copying. And within the functions, in today's class, I'm going to discuss the functions. Now, what I'm going to write is same to same. I'm going to define the function. As it is, I'm going to define the function. Now, so def, I'm going to write def with respect to function. What is the function means? Check of the marks, check the marks, check underscore marks is the function name. And what it is going to check means the marks, what are the marks you have given. So marks is nothing but some variable name is called as y. Okay. Now, this is the name I have created. I will keep as it is, remaining everything as it is. Okay. Now, you have created the function. This is called as creating a function. You are creating a function, whatever the function is. Okay. Now, you are calling this function. The same function, whatever you created, you are calling. So first you are asking the user to enter the marks, and based on the marks, it has to print this one. So check underscore marks of y. Marks of y. Now, first the user is going to enter the marks as 92, grade A. It is printing as grade A. Now, what is the difference in the before program and this one? Miss, there it is a normal program. This is the function. Okay, sir, your copy paste you are doing, and second is one line of code of creating the function and one line of code of calling the function. 2 lines you are wasting the time. Wait, why you are wasting extra 2 lines? The same answer, same answer you can get this by using this one only. Then why you are wasting extra 2 lines? Means, now let us take an example. So in this situation, you are having a situation where you are entering the marks as 95. Okay, and what is the answer of this one is grade A. Everyone knows. Now I want to have for 96. What is the answer for 96? Again, grade A. Now when I'm using grade 96, where is about 95? Where is 95? I want 95, I want 96. Both of them I want. Then what I have to do? Then generally without any function, what you have to do? This one is for separately for 96. This is separately for 96. And you are going to write one more, the same thing, one more. And this time you are writing with respect to for 95. And if you want for 94, again you have to write one more. Again you have to write one more, and this time you have to use for 94. So now for writing 3 different things, how many lines of code you have used? First time 1 and plus 6 lines of code with 1 line of input. 6 lines of code with 1 line of input. Okay, 6 plus 1, 7 lines. Again 6 plus 1, 7 lines. 6 plus 1, 7 lines. Total 21 lines you have used. Now I am creating a function for that. While creating the function, instead of input, I am creating the function name. Total, how many times I have used this one? 7 lines of code. 6 lines of normal with 1 name of function line. How to create the function? That is defining a function. 7 lines. Now what I am going to use? 2 lines. These 2 lines for 96 completed. Again, these 2 lines separately. I'll ask separately in the separate cell. Now this time for 95. And this time for 94. Now, total how many lines I have used now? First time while creating the function is 7 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines, and 2 lines. Total how many? 13. Earlier it is 21. Now it is 13 only. If you are using for one time only, if you are using for one time, there is no repetition, then don't create the function. It is waste of time. The extra 2 lines will be wasted. Defining the function name is waste, and calling the function name is waste. 2 lines waste. If you are using the code for only one time, don't create the function. Waste of time. If you are using the function for multiple times, create the function. It will save the time. It will save the code. It will save the number of lines of code. Right? Now, let us see this one. Here, you are creating a function. This is one more function where sum of numbers in a list. This is a program. Now what I'm going to do? The same thing as it is from here to here, I'm copying. And I'm creating a function. Okay. And this function I'm calling. If I call this one also, the answer is same. And if I create the function also, the answer is same. There will be no difference. Now here, if you observe within the function, I have written the triple inverted commas open, triple inverted commas close, which is called as comment. I already told you, multi-line comments you can write by using the triple inverted commas open and triple inverted commas close. Now, what is this comment? For example, def add a comma b. Def add a comma b. C is equal to a plus b, and return the C value. Return C value. This is the function. Now this function was used for what? What purpose? Adding the two numbers, only two numbers. Now you know that one, adding two numbers, because you created the function, you know that one. How others will know that one? How others will know, miss? Just you are going to write the comment. You can write the comment, triple inverted commas open and triple inverted commas close. In between, write the comment. And this function is used for adding two numbers. For adding two numbers, you are writing a function like this. Now the user who is going to use this function, for example, he is going to use 2, 3 or something he is going to write. Now, for example, 2, 3, whether he has to use 2 arguments or 10 arguments, how we can know? Means just this function, you can use the shift tab. I already told you earlier in the core Python, if you are having any doubt, means you can click on the shift tab. Help file will open. Do you remember that print function also have opened the shift tab? Okay. Now, if you click the shift tab, I'm using the shift tab. Now you can see here, add a comma b is the function. Doc string, you can see there is a heading called as doc string. In the doc string, it is there. This function is used to add the two numbers. This function is used for adding two numbers. Whatever I have written here, it is printing as it is. Got the point? So that now user, whoever the other person is there, he will understand that one. Okay, got the point? So for example, let us take like this example. For example, Python was created by XYZ person, some XYZ. Okay, he has created the Python, everything completed. His part is completed, creation part is completed. Now he is going to share whatever he has created, the software or whatever it is, to others, end users. To others, he is going to share. Now, whatever the Python was created, the others has to use the Python. Now, how I can know that Python? Whatever he has created, how I can know? Whether the print function was created in a small letters PINT, whether it is used like caps lock PRINT or caps lock PINRNT or what? How it has created? How I can know? How I can know? Unless you read, you don't know, right? He has to provide a document for you. He has to provide a document. Okay, this is the Python was created and this is the document. If you want to use this Python, miss, you have to follow. This is the syntax. He is going to share one document and I'm going to read the document. And that document, after reading the document, I'm going to work accordingly. Similarly, the entire Python, whatever the Python for data science is there, every Python for data science, all the functions, whatever are available, they are having with the documentation. Just we are going to read the documentation and we are going to understand, okay, this function was created for this purpose. And as per our requirement, we are going to use whichever the function we want. Got the point? So how many functions are there in the entire Python, miss? To my knowledge, forget about the data science. Overall in the Python, to my knowledge, it is more than 5 lakhs functions. More than. Sir, are we going to learn all these 5 lakhs, miss? You'll die if you learn, miss. Because those function names we have to remember. Each function we have to remember the number of arguments also inside that, which is not possible. Even the person who created the Python also not possible, because he has not created all the 5 lakhs functions. Some of the functions he has created, some of the functions will be created by other persons. None of the one single person will not create all the 5 lakhs, right? Now, how many functions we are going to use then, miss? Around 1000 functions we are going to use in the data science. Sir, we have to remember all these functions, sir? Yes, we have to remember. All these 1000 functions we have to remember. Sir, how, sir? On practice. While practicing one by one, I want to read all the 1000 functions now only, right? In one single day, it is not going to complete. Next 4 months course, whatever the Python course is there, total it is consist of 1000 functions. If you understand what is this 1000 functions, if you understand 1000 functions, for example, there is a function, one function, and this function is use of this one. And while using this function, it will work in this way. This is the backend code of this function. and it will consist of these are the arguments. If you understand like this 1000 functions, data science is completed. Data science means just understanding 1000 functions is called as data science. That's it. If you understand all these 1000 functions, whatever the 1000 functions are there, the backend, how it is going to work and what are the arguments it is going to take. If you understand, means data science is completed. The function in that, one of the function is your algorithm. ML algorithm is also a function. How this ML algorithm works in the backend, some lines of code was written. It will take two arguments. One is input argument and one is output argument, x comma y. And it will identify the relation between x and y. How it will identify the relation in the backend? This is the lines of code. Sir, where we can get this all these functions? Sir, please share us all that 1000 functions, sir. And in the backend, what is the code is there? Please share us, sir, so that we will read. It is not possible like that. 1000 functions we are going to discuss. Second thing is these 1000 inbuilt functions. We are discussing 1000 inbuilt functions. For inbuilt functions, what is the backend code? No one knows. Directly, the nodes will not be available. For example, ABS is there. Let us take ABS. Earlier, I have shown you already the ABS, right? Let us take like ABS. Now, ABS is the function. This is the inbuilt function. You know what is the backend code of this inbuilt function? No. If you open the shift tab, you can see that it is going to return the absolute value of the argument. It has written that ABS will take only one argument. Second one is hash. Hash means no more arguments allowed. Only one argument called as X. And it is going to return the absolute value of the argument. This is the help file. Shift tab. If you click on the shift plus the tab, then you'll see the help file. This is called as help file. Help. Help means whatever the documentation is there inside the Python, you can see that one. Now, here ABS of X. ABS of X means it is going to return the absolute value of the argument. Whatever the value you have inserted, it is going to return the absolute value. Now, what is the backend code of that? Means def, they have created like this. Def ABS of X, and if X value is less than 0, X is equal to minus X and return the X. After converting, return the X. Or you can store in a new variable, Z. Z is equal to minus X and return the Z. Else return the X only. Whatever the original X is there, as it is written. This is the backend of that one. Sir, who told you to take X is less than 0 only? You can take even this one also, right? Def ABS of X. If X is greater than 0, return X. If X is greater than 0, return X. Else, Z is equal to minus X and return Z. Maybe this also code, right? Might be. This one also same only. Either of if, else you are reversing. Both are same only, right? Now, whether this code was written or whether this code was written means no one knows. They are patented. Okay. We can't see the exactly what is the backend code of that. Just we can learn that one. Now here, ABS of X means simply it is going to say that it is going to return the absolute value of the argument. Means whatever the value you are providing inside that, it will provide you the mod of that one, absolute value. So whenever you require the absolute value, then you use the absolute function. So just by writing this one with minus 10, it is going to consider the X value as minus 10 and it will execute the backend whatever the code, and accordingly it is going to print. Sir, when I have to use absolute value, means when I have to use this particular function, means whenever you require, you use that one. Whenever you don't require, don't use that one. That is as per your requirements. Okay, is that clear? Got the point clearly? Now, what is meant by this? This is called this particular one. This particular one, whatever this particular one is there, this part is called as documentation string, doc string. This is called as doc string. What is meant by doc string means, which is nothing but it will print as it is whatever you have written inside that. In the shift tab, in the help function, it will print as it is. This is called as doc string. Is that clear? If I created with a function with a name of F1, then it is possible to create another function with the same name. Yes, the previous one will be replaced. The previous one will be deleted. Similar kind of variable name. In the variable, how we are creating a is equal to 10. And if you write later a is equal to 20, what happens to the previous one? It will be deleted. Similarly, in the F1, the latest one will be stored and the previous one will be deleted. Right? Is that clear? So for example, this is the add function. This add function was created for two arguments, A and D. These arguments are A and B. Two arguments it was created. Now I'm going to use one more function, def add. Once again, same add. A comma B comma C. Now D is equal to A plus B plus C and return the D value. Okay. This is the second function. This is the first function and this is the second function. Now, if I'm adding the add, if I call the add, whether which one will work? Previous one or this one means whichever executed latest executed one will work. So now this add function will have how many arguments? 3 arguments. If you use the shift tab, you can see 3 arguments, A, B, C. Sir, what about A comma B add function, sir? Deleted. Because you have replaced it now. Similarly, kind of variables only. The same concept of variable. Got the point? Is your question is clear? Raja. Right? Now, what are the different types of functions? With arguments, without arguments. You can create a function with no arguments. When you created the function with no arguments, you have to call the function also with no arguments only. So for example, this function is there. Tell me what is this function is? Even underscore num. It is going to take the lower some values LB and it is asking the user to enter UB. And it is going to take for I in range of LB to UB plus 1. If I is modulus 2 is equal to 0, print I. Now I'm calling this function. When I call this function, now this function was created with no arguments. Now I'm calling the function also no arguments. It will work or not? It will work. For example, inside this, you have given some argument of at least like this, something you have written. Something you have written. It will throw the error that this function was created with no argument. But you have given 1. Even underscore num takes 0 arguments. But 1 argument was given. While calling the function, 1 argument was given, which is wrong. You should call the function also with no argument only. Now, when I'm calling the function with no argument, what happens automatically? It will execute these 4 lines of code or 5 lines, these 5 lines of code. So just let me execute. Now, what is the first one? It is a first line. Enter the lower bound values. I'm going to enter the lower bound 10. And what happens? It will store the variable, the value of 10 in the LB. Now I'm entering. I'm just clicking the enter button. Now immediately second line, enter the upper bound. Enter the upper bound means I'm entering the value called as 20. It will create the UB. Okay, I'm entering the value 20 and it is going to create a new variable called as UB. For I in range of LB comma UB plus 1 means nothing but for I in range of 10 to 21. Okay, UB plus 1 means UB is 20 plus 1, 21. If I value is divisible by 2, it is going to print that particular I value. Means whichever the I values are even numbers between 10 to 21, it is printing those values. Got the point? So without writing this one, without writing the function, just if you call the, if you type this one. Okay. Here I'm entering. Okay. So here I'm entering 10 and here I'm entering 20. Same values of 10 and 20 as it is. Now, how it is printing separately, the function also will be the same thing because internal the code is same only, right? Internal code is not going to change, right? The same 5 lines of code, if you write separately also the same 5 lines of code will work. If you write in the inside the function also same 5 lines of code will work. Code is not going to change. It's not going to change, right? So if you write separately these 5 lines of code, that is the answer. If you write inside the function also, the same 5 lines of code is getting executed. Code is not going to change, right? Now, this first function is function with no arguments. Second type of function is function with positional arguments. Positional arguments means whatever the order you are entering, the order will be saved in the same order. For example, let us take this one. Def greet name comma message. So this function was created. What is the name of the function? Greet. Greet is the function name. What are the arguments it is going to take is two arguments. One argument is called as name and one argument is called as message. And print. By taking these two arguments, it is going to print hello, name, and message. It is going to print like this. Okay. Now I'm calling the function with SRK and good morning. SRK and good morning. Now what happens? Name is equal to name comma message. While creating the function, how many arguments you have created? Two arguments. Now while calling also two arguments. So automatically it will work. How it is going to work? By considering name comma message is equal to SRK comma good morning. Now automatically what is name? What is name? Name is SRK. What is message? Good morning. So what it is going to take name as SRK, message as good morning, and it is going to print hello SRK good morning. This is the output. Hello SRK good morning. Now for example, you have given the greet 2 comma SRK. Greet 2 comma SRK. Now greet function. Greet function was created with how many arguments? Two arguments. While calling also two arguments. Satisfied? Satisfied. Satisfied means function will execute. Now within the function, what is there? Name and message. Whatever the name comma message is equal to 2 comma SRK. Now what is the name? Name is equal to 2. What is the message? SRK. Now what it is going to print? Hello name. What is name? 2. Hello to SRK. It is going to print like this. Hello to SRK. Whatever the order you have written, it is going to consider in the same order. For example, I'm writing hello as good morning SRK. So for example, I'm writing hello greet. I'm taking the greet function. Within the greet function, I'm going to take this one as good. Okay. Now what happens? What is the name? What is name? Name is good now. It will not understand, oh, name cannot be good, name cannot be with respect to SRK, name cannot be like this. It will not understand anything like that. For example, if I'm writing here morning, now automatically it will consider the name as morning, message as SRK, and it is going to print hello name comma message. What is the answer? Hello morning SRK. It is going to print hello morning SRK. Whatever the order you have entered, it will take the same order. Your name and message will be in the same order. That is morning comma SRK. Name will be morning, message will be SRK. Whatever the order you have entered, it will work in the same order. That is the reason it is called as positional arguments. Your position is required. Now, greet morning. Greet. Now this greet function was created with how many arguments? Two arguments. Now if you are calling the function with one argument, what is going to throw? Error. That greet function was missing one argument. Because two arguments was created, you have given only one, out of which one is missing. One argument is missing. This is called as positional argument. Next one is called as default argument. And now in this case, I am going to take def greet name comma message. Hello name comma message is the function. Greet SRK comma good night. What is the answer of this? What is the answer of this? Greet is a function. Same function. It was created with two arguments. So since it is satisfying, so this function will work. What is there inside the function? Hello name comma message. What is name? SRK. What is the message? Good night. So hello SRK good night. It is going to print like this. Yes. This is called as positional argument. There is no difference in this. Now what I'm going to do, just observe this one now. Instead of message, I'm writing good morning. I'm writing good morning. it will automatically selects. If you assign the value for the default argument, it will consider the value what you have assigned. What is the first statement? Read the first statement. If you don't assign the value for the default arguments, see here, while calling, I have not assigned any value for the default argument. Name, comma, message is equal to SRK only. Name will be considered as SRK, but message, I have not assigned any value for the message. Automatically, it is going to consider the default value. What is the default value? Good morning. Good morning automatically has selected. If you assign the value for the default argument, then it will consider the value whatever you have assigned. So in this case, what happened? SRK, good night. What is the difference between this one versus this one? This is the function. For this function, I am asking two ways. Function name is same. First time function name I am asking with two arguments. Second time the same function I am asking with one argument. But this one is working and this one also is working. How it is possible? With two arguments it is working and one argument also it is working. How it is possible with two arguments and one argument? Because the second argument is a default argument. Since the second function is a default argument, if you don't mention the second argument, automatically it will consider whatever I have written here. If you assign the value, if you don't assign the value for the default argument, it automatically considers the default value. The same thing will be applied here. See, when I'm calling this function single argument, with a single argument, if I call, it is going to automatically selects. If you don't assign the value for the default argument, it automatically selects. With one argument also it is working because the other argument is. Now, if you observe this one, print 10, 20. Print 10, 20 means what is the output of this? 10 space
Recording in progress.
Default argument. For example, if I open this greet underscore 2, in this greet underscore 2, which one is default argument? Which one is default argument? Message is the default argument. If I click shift tab, you can clearly see that message is equal to good morning. Message is equal to good morning means if you don't write any value for the message, automatically it will consider the good morning. Message is considered as the default argument. How we can identify the default arguments means whichever the function is whichever the argument is having the equal to symbol already, that is considered as default argument. Now, if you open your print statement, I mean print function, if you open your print function, within the print function, you can see here separator is equal to space. By default, it is having. This is called as default argument. Got the point? One of the most important. Out of all the arguments, default arguments is most important. Default argument means if you don't write anything, automatically it will consider. Once again, I'm writing here. So if you don't assign the value for the default argument, for the print statement, what is the default argument? Separator. If you don't write the word separator also, no problem. If you don't write the word separator also, no problem. Automatically it will take the separator as the space. But if you want the separator as comma, apart from the space, if you want comma, means 10, 20 has to be printed. Then you have to write the separator is equal to comma. Now, whenever you are writing the separator is equal to comma, now it has to take the whatever you are writing. So see, if the value was assigned, if second point, what is the second point? If you assign the value for your default argument, then it has to consider your default argument only. So see here. if you assign the value for the default argument, separator is basically default argument. Now you have assigned the value called as comma. You have assigned a comma to a default argument. Now it will consider the value whatever you have assigned. If you give something miss, it will consider whatever you have written. If you don't give anything only, it will take automatically default value. Got the point? When it will consider the default value miss, whenever you have not assigned the anything for the argument, it will select automatically. If you write something miss, whatever you have written, it will select. So that is the reason here greet _2 srk comma good night. Though the message is a default argument also, I have given the good night. Now whether it will consider good night or good morning, good night only it will consider. If you don't give this one only, it will consider the good morning. Good morning, when it will be considered miss, if you don't give the value. If this value was not given, consider this value. That is the meaning. Is that clear? Default arguments. Now, let us create one more program based on this. Def add a comma b comma c is equal to 25. Okay, c is equal to 25. Now I'm going to write z is equal to a plus b plus c and return the z value. This is the function. Now add is the function. Now if I open my add function, it is saying a comma b, c is equal to 25. C is already a default argument. If you don't assign the value miss, automatically it will take 25. Automatically it will take the 25. Remaining a and b is compulsory. You have to give the compulsory. Otherwise, so now what I'm going to do, a comma b, 1 comma 2, I'm writing only 1 comma 2. Now what happens? A value will be 1, b value will be 2, and c value automatically 25. That is, answer is 28. That is 1 plus 2 plus 25. But c value I'm giving as 3. Now c value is 3, c value is 25, 3. So now what is the answer? Got the point? If you don't give only, it will consider default value. If you give miss, it will consider whatever the value you have assigned only. Is that clear, guys? Now the question, sir, add okay, add function okay. I want 2 comma 3 or 2 comma 3. Now, sir, 2 comma 3 means a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 3 and c automatically is considering 25. Sir, my meaning is not that one, sir. C value should be take 3. B value should take 2 and I have forgot the a value. It has to throw that you have forgot the a value. It has to give like that. Now what I have to do? Then it is called as keyword arguments. Keyword arguments means, for example, if you write this one, add a is equal to 2. Sorry, this b is equal to, add b is equal to 2 and c is equal to 3. If you write like this, automatically b will be considered 2, c will be considered 3, and a is missing. It is going to throw that a is missing. Now it is considering. Why it is considering like that? Because you have written clearly this is b and this is c. If you don't write their names by default, the first one will be considered as a, second one will be considered as b automatically. By default, positional arguments. It will go into the positional arguments. But you have written clearly this is the b value and this is the c value. Now automatically this is considered as b value, this is considered as c value, and a value is missing. Now, sir, this is a value, sir. C is automatically it has to take. Okay, a is equal to 3, b is equal to 2, and c is automatically 25. What is the answer? 3 plus 2 plus 25, which is 30. Then this is called as keyword arguments. Keyword arguments means you are writing your key name clearly. Key name means argument name clearly while calling the function. Then it is called as keyword argument. Got the point? That is the difference between the positional argument, default argument versus keyword argument. Is that clear, guys? Any questions with respect to this? So today we have discussed how to create the functions. Okay, what is the difference between inbuilt functions versus created functions? That is user defined functions. And along with that, functions with no arguments, with positional arguments, with keyword arguments. These are the 3 arguments, 4 arguments we have discussed, and default arguments. with no arguments, with positional arguments, keyword arguments, and default arguments. So functions, how to create a function, and within the functions, how to write the docstring, and what are the different types of functions are available. These are the things which we have discussed in the today's class. Please practice this one. And in the tomorrow's class, we are going to discuss the remaining part of the functions and along with that modules, right? Along with the modules, tomorrow we'll discuss balance part of this. That is arbitrary arguments and recursive functions. All these things will continue in the tomorrow's class. So till keyword arguments, practice and identify what is the, when you are calling the function, if you are writing, while calling the function, if you are writing keyword means, then it is called as keyword argument. While calling the function, not while assigning the function. While calling the function, if you are writing the keyword means, it is called as keyword arguments. Is the point is clear? So please practice with respect to these functions with arguments. And in the tomorrow's class, we'll discuss the next topic. And tomorrow I'll share you the assignment, next assignment related to functions. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, you can leave. Good question. Def ABS.